Hey astronauts, it's me, Brandy, and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research. I'm super excited for today's reading because today's reading is the Love 2022. So I've already done the yearly 22 predictions. Now we're getting into the love stuff. I don't think I've done like a solid just this is a love reading prediction general thing in like 2 years or something. I could be wrong. I don't know. Let's get into it today. We have 5 piles to choose from because I am gaining traction on my Black Beauty study video, which if you guys don't know, you're new to my channel, I'm doing a study on Black Beauty and astrology, and that's going to be coming out hopefully by the end of the year. I'm making good time. I do want to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Astro_Tarot Research. And hit that bell to stay notified. And let's get into these piles. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. So let's not waste any more time and just sit back, relax, and choose. Hey, pile number 1, let's get started on your 2022 love reading. We have the 4 of Wands. Whoa, the Tower. And the 7 of Cups. Oh, 4 of Wands again. 5 of Swords. And Venus Love. Oh, okay, we got very literal with this. So, let's start for the singles because that's going to be like the easiest one. Well, the singles, it looks like you guys are having a lot of fun. And with the Tower here, and because the Tower is like surrounded by such positive cards, you know, minus the 5 of Swords here at the end, which can be a little bit like, well, I've never seen the 5 of Swords in the best light, but it doesn't matter. The surrounding cards here are so good with Venus Love. It looks like your love life 2022 is amazing. So back to what I was saying about the Tower is going to be like you have some shocking good moments like in your dating life. I don't know if you're meeting new people or you're just having some interesting conversations, or maybe you're going on some fun dates and etc. Like maybe trying some things you haven't done before. Like I recently tried axe throwing and I thought that was amazing. It wasn't a date, I was with friends, but maybe you're doing dates like that. Possibly maybe like rock climbing. I'm trying to think of like adventurous dates, maybe canoeing. I don't know. Do people go canoeing? I'm sure somebody does. So you're having like some more adventurous times, some more fun moments that you can really just let go and enjoy yourself. And because we have this 4 of Wands here, and the 4 of Wands is about stability and commitment, especially when we have Venus, which is the planet of like sort of love, commitment, relationships. It rules over that. It looks like these are potentially long-term prospects. And I say potentially because, you know, a lot of them are minor arcana. And we have that 5 of Swords there. So there is a little bit of a bittersweetness in some cases, but not all cases, right? So much positive energy coming from these cards. It looks like that you're going to be dating some people you've never dated before, like a whole like host of personalities coming through for you. As I mentioned before, trying out some different places, maybe going to different restaurants, trying some different cultures, cuisines, and foods that you've never done before, because Venus rules over culture. And it is the planet that rules, you know, different societies and setting up, I guess, systems in which we live, right? Every country, every city, it seems like at most has their own culture. And so you're experiencing that. You're experiencing dating different people from different backgrounds or religions, or just maybe people who look different. I don't know. It's usually more culture though with Venus, like culture, race, religion. Those are the usual things for Venus. When you would get into things like, oh, pretty politics and all this stuff like that, that's when we get into like Rahu, Ketu and all that stuff like that. But we're not into that. We're looking at you just kind of experiencing new avenues to learn about people and to go into their way of life, okay? Because we have this 4 of Wands, and 4 of Wands kind of represents family and home. So you're really kind of immersing yourself into other people's worlds, and you're probably bringing them into your own world as well. So the Tower here definitely represents something positive, shocking, quite amazing. And when we get the Seven of Cups, I most recently remember getting this card when I was at it was like a family gathering, and there was so many different food options, and they were all so good, okay? So what I'm trying to say here, I got a little bit sidetracked with the way I'm thinking because I just got a new thought. But what I'm trying to say here is it's almost like you have a buffet of men or women or whatever you're into, as well as you sort of have a buffet of like options in which you can go about dating. Maybe you want to date seriously. It looks like you want to date seriously from this. Maybe you want to have like a casual thing going on. Maybe you're just like, oh, let's just kind of be friends and etc. like that. So you definitely have a lot of options on your plate. And as well as I get the Seven of Cups to be like, oh, this person has surprised me with a lot of different gifts. That is one of the possibilities because it comes from like the Six of Cups. And when I get the Six of Cups, it's like giving towards like family, friends. That's what I usually get that card for. So when I get the Seven of Cups, it's usually like giving towards more romantic interests. It could still be family as well, but it's more of like a celebratory card. So I have a feeling that you're gonna have a lot of kind of admirers trying to woo you, trying to like impress you in some sort of way. And one way to do that is kind of like presenting some sort of gifts to you or some sort of surprises. So be on the lookout for like some surprise moments coming in with 2022. Okay, so that's what I'm pretty much picking up on this. With this Five of Swords here, it does kind of let me know that there's probably going to be some misunderstandings. As you know, fives rule conflict. There's going to be some moments where maybe you feel like the person isn't as into you as they may seem, or maybe you're like, oh, maybe this person was just taking advantage of me, or maybe this person just wants me for attention, or maybe this person just wants me because I make them look good, or maybe this person is trying to use me. Like, there's gonna be a lot of like anxious thoughts surrounding your dating life, which makes sense because everyone gets a little bit nervous when it comes to dating. There's that sense of vulnerability here. But one thing we don't have is a lot of pentacles, so I don't see things being dull, okay? It's never a dull moment going into 2022. I don't know what to tell you, but expect the unexpected here. A lot of passion going on here. And then we also have pentacles. They rule sort of like having a set routine, as well as having some sort of like consistency. So the people you may be dating may not be as consistent. So that might be where this Five of Swords is coming in, where you're like, okay, does this person even want to talk to me? Does this person even interested in me? Like, they seem like they just don't care about me at all. Like, so there may be moments where you have thoughts like that, but I would not be worried about that. From what I'm gathering, the energy is very positive, and it looks like these people are interested, but we can clarify. This High Priestess here. So it does clarify that it's kind of you thinking to yourself thinking to yourself, having these thoughts to yourself. But the High Priestess is a very serious card. So it looks like they are taking you very seriously. It's not something frivolous for them, but the communication may be off at some point. But let's get into this Venus love. I have been obviously studying Venus because I've been doing my Black Beauty study, and the part of beauty is the planet Venus. The planet Venus is probably the most dominant planet when it comes to beauty from what I've seen so far, or at least one of the most relevant planets. And one thing what it has to do with Venus is it sort of represents being totally like enamored or adoring someone, or feeling like you would do anything for this person. And I feel like maybe you may have some moments like that, and maybe some other people may have those moments, or they may feel like that way towards you in that way. Because honestly, with this High Priestess card, it's kind of giving me like people are coming up to your altar and like giving you offerings. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting from this pal. It's not like you're exerting the most energy. It's more like other people may exerting energy towards you. So it does make me question that maybe even to some degree, the people you may be dating may be even having those thoughts of feeling like, oh man, is this person taking advantage of me? Does this person even want me? Because you're going to be a little bit harder to read in 2022 towards the people that you're dating. And so they're going to feel a little bit unsure. And that's probably why they may be like, oh, let me pull back a little bit. I don't know. Like and it's not like they're trying to manipulate you. They just really don't know. Okay. So they have this big question mark when it comes to you. But as I was saying with the planet of Venus, it has to do with feeling that sense of, I guess, security or loyalty or commitment towards someone. So when someone has a really strong Venus in their chart, a really strong Venus influence, so like they may have Venus in the ascendant, Venus conjunct their sun, they may be ruled under like a Venus ruled nakshatra, which is like Purva Falguni, Purva Shada, Bharani. If they have like those placements in their chart, when these people are in love, it's really that crazy in love, like Beyonce, crazy in love. And she does have a Venus placement, Purva Falguni, and they really are crazy in love. So you may have some people who are like really strong feelings towards you, and you may even meet some people who you have some really strong feelings towards. Now, when it comes to people who are already in relationships, it's kind of like saying that you guys are like maybe spicing up in a more passionate way, in a more romantic way, where there's going to be some surprise dates, some cute little things that you guys may do to each other, or do for each other, I should say. Maybe do to each other too, but do for each other, presenting each other. You kind of are in your little love cocoon, okay? When that Venus energy comes in, it's like, hey, we just kind of want to hang out with each other, with our family, with our closest friends. Like, we don't want to hang out with everybody else. And so that's kind of like where you guys will be at. You might even be thinking about taking a more serious next step, whatever that case may be. Four of Wands could be marriage. And I'm only mentioning marriage because I say it's appearing twice. And then we also have Venus to clarify that. So that's something that may be on the cards for some of you. But like, obviously, not all of you are getting married. So other people may be getting engaged. Other people may be moving in together. Other people may just be like, hey, like, we've been kind of seeing each other for a while. Like, do you want to, you know, be in a serious relationship? So you may be having some talks like that. And then with this Five of Swords here, it's kind of like trying to figure out what exactly it is that you need from each other within a relationship and trying the best way to communicate that. There aren't really any negative intentions. It's more so like, how do I bring this up with this person, because I don't want to hurt their feelings, but if I don't bring it up, I don't think this is going to work out the way I want it to work out. So you may be having some uncomfortable conversations with your partner, but it's going to be okay because you guys both have such passionate and strong energy towards each other, okay? And then, you know, with the Tower here and this Four of Wands energy, I do get this kind of energy that there may be like another person trying to get their way into some of you guys' relationships. I just want to clarify that. That is a yes with the Eight of Wands there. So it does seem like, I don't know if it's actual like, oh, I'm flirting with your partner, or I'm flirting with you and I'm trying to insert myself. But it's more like the things that certain people may say, you know, when you go to a friend and you're like, oh, he acted like this, or she did this, and da-da-da, and you're kind of like venting to them, but they may take it serious because they're your friend and they want to protect you, and they're like, oh, I can't believe this person did this to you, da-da-da-da. And so that in a way may cause a little riffraff between you guys. If you have friends like that, if you tend to vent like that, or if you tend to let people know about your business, then yeah, this is going to be one of those years where you guys may have to have some discussions, or saying, hey, like, maybe let's not let everybody into our little shell, and let's probably work out a way to communicate with each other instead of seeking all this advice from other people. On the other hand, for some of you, this may specifically saying, I want to seek counseling. Okay, so that's something to think about, because the High Priestess is kind of like this hidden figure, this wise figure who's interpreting all of these messages from like a higher power. And in a way that can kind of represent psychiatry, because the High Priestess is more observant, and so she's kind of like looking out at humanity, and so in a way it's kind of like acting like a psychiatrist, where you're like, okay, well, let's go to couples therapy and work things out and learn how to work on our communication better. So that's something for the couples, but it's really more like a very passionate sort of like, let's hang out, let's have fun, da 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 da, okay? So that is what I have for you, pile number 1. It looks like 2022 is in it for some really unexpected surprises when it comes to your love life, and they're very, very happy surprises, and you're going to like love it. You're going to be like, I have never experienced this like this before. This almost feels like a dream. Like, I have so many people at my beck and call or whatever like that, or so many people flirting with me and interested in me or trying to date me or going here and doing that, and it just seems like a whirlwind for you. Like, it's like it's gonna go by so fast. Like, I have a feeling 2022 is going to be like that, okay? So that is what I have for you. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Au revoir. Hey, pile number 2, let's get started on your love reading for 2022. Okay, wow. So we have the 4 of Swords, the 6 of Wands, the 6 of Swords, the 6 of Swords again. We have a lot of repeat cards. I don't know what's going on. The 3 of Coins and Cancer, I feel. All right, so let's read this for the singles. The fact that we have 3 6s lets me know that there could be some things going on, particularly with family members. I'm not sure how they're involved in your love life. Maybe they have a strong influence, maybe strong opinions. Depend on where you are in the world. This could have something to do with like an arranged marriage, or just maybe you just have parents who like to introduce you to people. Lots of people have parents who like to meddle in their children's love lives. But so somehow it is possible that some sort of family member, maybe your parents, maybe a sibling, maybe an aunt, a relative, they kind of want to push themselves a little bit into your love life. And it kind of reaffirms it by the fact that we have the 3 of Coins. You know, 3's a crowd, so 3's I always get to be more than one person. So I don't know what that's about, but for you singles out there, there may be a little bit of meddling when it comes to your love life by somebody close to you, or even just, not even family. Sometimes 6s can just be people who are close to your heart, so they could be like friends. So that's something to look out for next year in 2022. But while I'm looking at this, for you singles out there, the focus seems to be predominantly on yourself. Now, it's not like you will be completely devoid of all love or anything, but it looks like you're choosing to concentrate on balancing, you know, your dating life, your work life, with your own sort of personal pleasures, okay? With this 4 of Swords, I always get this in love readings to be like, you know what, I'm setting out. I'm not sitting in the game. I'm checking out. Like, I need some time to myself. I'm on pause right now. Like, something lets me know that 2022, when it comes to your love life, you're not fully going to be invested in that area of your life in particular. You're going to be more focused on other things that matter to you. And so that's something to think about. Now, for those of you who are like, no, that's not me. Like, I'm going into the dating game headstrong. I'm not stopping. Like, I'm going to find someone. Well, this is just kind of letting me know that the people that you may encounter may be more like foreign, because of the 6 of Swords here represent travel. They may be people who are kind of more like not on par with where you are in your life in particular. And the reason I say that is because whenever we get the 6s, it's all about trying to find a balance. And so there can be some sort of power imbalance. Just look at the person on the 6 of Wands. You have the person on the horse, then you have the people in the crowd. Same with the traditional kind of card here, where you have this person rowing the boat, and then this person here kind of like in a position that's like below them, like physically they're sitting down, they might be too weak to help. I don't know what the case is, but this person's not in the same condition as the other one who seems more able-bodied and etc. So it may feel like that you are in a position where you're putting in a good amount of effort, or you're a person who is at a certain place in your life, but you're not attracting those who are in the same place, okay? They may be in a little bit of a rough patch, or they may be going through some things that are not not congruent to where you are, okay? So that's something to think about when it comes to dating in 2022. It may feel like you're sort of running into characters who do not satisfy your needs. And I say that because, as I mentioned a billion times before, we have these swords and these pentacles coming together. And so that lets me know that the Three of Coins is like, hey, I've been fully supported. We're working as a team. Everything's coming together. But it's kind of like in a position where it's like, that's really not happening. It's being a little bit irritated. So it's saying we're not really working together. We don't kind of fit. I think we have different goals in mind. I think you want the project to be this way. You want the project to be that way. And so we can kind of apply those terms into dating and a relationship where it seems like they may want something else out of your interactions and you may want another thing out of these interactions. What that thing is, I don't know. I'm sure I'm sure those of you watching this all have different ideas of what you want and what you're looking forward to in 2022 in terms of love. I'm just letting you know that it seems like in 2022, those needs may not be completely met. It's going to feel a little bit incomplete, like something's missing, okay? You may get like you may meet people who may have like tons and tons of qualities that you really, really desire in a partner, but then they're missing that one integral thing, that one thing that really, really makes it complete. And the fact that we have Cancer here to let me know, I think it's that really strong emotional connection, because the sign of Cancer, at least in Vedic astrology, when it comes to what it represents, it's a deep intimacy and connection and bond with the person that you are with, okay? You feel it in your heart, you feel it in your soul, you feel really, really like this person is the one for you. Like, it's electrifying to be around this person, okay? From what I have observed by Vedic Cancers, they really, really feel like a sort of magnetism or magnetic connection towards the people that they are with. They're like, hey, I don't really need anything from you. I just need you, okay? And it's feeling like you're not getting that emotional connection, or even maybe you're not getting that emotional support. So you may find yourself kind of meeting people who are interested, because you'll have plenty of people interested in you, but you're just like, I'm sorry, I don't think you're the one for me. I'm sorry, I don't think you're the one for me. So it seems like 2022 is just part of the dating cycle, but it's more of the dating cycle that you're like, man, this is not what I ideal, okay? We all have to go through it with dating. We all have to go through times where we're meeting people who don't connect with us, and I don't know what's going on with the energy in 2022, but it seems that way. Now, this is not to imply that you're going to be miserable. You're going to be so sad in 2022. Like, no, not at all, okay? It's just saying that you're going to be more at peace with yourself. You're going to feel very, very confident within yourself. You're going to know what you want. You're going to know what you're looking for. And it's almost kind of like the universe is kind of like testing you. It's like saying, oh, you know what you want? Well, I'm going to throw these same people, like people that you've met before in your past who have these characteristics. I'm going to really test you out and see if you really going to pull away from these people like you say you are. And it looks like you are. You're like, yeah, that's not for me. I'm not doing that. I'm not building a relationship with someone who doesn't suit my needs. And that's something that you're going to be going through in 2022. But keep in mind, these are all minor arcana. And so when we have all minor arcana, that's subject to change at any moment, to be honest. That's really the fact that we just don't have anything major going on. It's not saying, oh, this is fated, this is stamped in stone, or there's no flexibility. There's tons and tons of flexibility about the people that you'll be encountering and meeting. It's just a matter of, I guess, time and effort, okay? I mean, that's really all that is in order to find that connection and going through people, because we don't have any cup energy. And then, like I said before, I think that's just because it's implying that you don't feel that romantic connection with people. You may feel a friendship bond. You may even feel like you guys would be like super cool acquaintances, but you won't feel that deep romantic connection that you desire, that everyone desires, I think. Excuse me. Now, for those who are already in a relationship, I don't like to say that people are going to break up or not be together, but the cards here would sort of imply that you may be looking for different options. Now, if that's not the case, if you're with someone that you really love and cherish, then you can ignore that and you can pick another pile. But for those of you who've chosen this pile and you've already kind of been on the fence about your relationship and you've really been reflecting things and looking things over, this would imply that you're feeling like, I don't think we're working out. I don't think this person is what I want. I feel very, very confident, and I don't think this person is there for me as I continue to rise. And that can happen a lot when you have someone who may be a little bit more insecure. It happens a lot with particularly male and female dynamics in relationships. Like if you have a woman who's like financially more successful or just generally more successful, tendency in our society because of the sexism, men will feel like insecure and they'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe she needs money. And they'll just kind of give you a hard time in that relationship and kind of be a little bit more controlling. So that could be a thing that's going on. It doesn't have to be if you're a man or a woman. It could be in any relationship. I just noticed that it tends to happen more in female and male dynamic relationships, but that's just because, like I said, sexism. So there could be that feeling of like you've outgrown your partner in 2022 and you're looking for someone who currently fits where you are mentally, emotionally, and where you need to be in life. Like you just feel like you need to be somewhere else. And it's also possible that you're thinking like, hey, I want to start a family, only because Cancer relates to the 4th house, and then we have all these 6s, and 6s have to do with family themselves. And you may feel like the person you're with, maybe they don't want to start a family, or maybe you feel like you don't want to start a family with them, and you're like, I don't think this person is my soulmate. Now, like I said, if you don't resonate with any of this, feel free to choose another pile. But that is currently what I'm picking up for 2022 in terms of love. It's really like a year of contemplation and trying to get to that next stage of where you feel like you need to be when it comes to your love life. Like you really want to move on to a more serious place, a place where you feel like that you have a good balance in your relationships, where you feel like you're with someone who understands you and accepts you for who you are, and vice versa. Like you really want to get to that place of being cherished and appreciated, and you're figuring out or shifting through people in order to find that person, or even getting out of a relationship where you feel like this person doesn't appreciate me for who I am, so I've got to go. And that's the case. So that is what I have for you, pile number 2. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Au revoir. Hey astronauts, let's get started on your reading, pile number 3. So we have the 6 of Cups, the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Coins, the 9 of Swords, and the 5th house, creativity. Let me put that around the right way. So, this is interesting because let's start with the singles, okay? So, 5th house creativity is very interesting because the 5th house is also known as the house of kind of like romance and dating in astrology. So, it does let me know that this is for my single people, that you will be going out on dates, that you will have some moments where you may feel like, okay, well, let me let my guard down and then the person you may be going on a date with or somebody you may be seeing may not treat your heart with the utmost respect, okay? With that Ten of Swords, you see how all those knives are going in that person's back. It's like they've been betrayed. It's like they've been hurt. It's like they've been, you know, down and out. And it really feels like that when it comes to your love life here. It's like these cards are saying that you are trying to look for a person that you can feel comfortable around, that you can feel vulnerable with, that you can open up to, and that you can build a long-term connection with. But you're struggling to find that won't lie in 2022, okay? That's okay. You know, we all struggle to find things. It doesn't mean that you aren't one step closer to getting where you need to be, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind, because with these two tens here, tens represent endings. So this lets me know that this is like the ending of a cycle, that this isn't all there is, okay? Especially nines too. Nines can represent endings as well. This lets me know it's coming to a close, all of this energy of not being able to have someone who can take care of you, or someone you can take care of, someone who can care for you, okay? That cycle is coming to a close in 2022. You're finding, or you're getting one step closer to finding that person who is right for you. And the reason you're kind of getting closer to this is you're letting go of a lot of anxious thoughts, a lot of worrying, a lot of, you know, negative thinking patterns or negative spaces. With this Ten of Swords and this Nine of Swords, it's like saying, okay, I have so much anxiety. I'm stressing about this person. You know, will they call me back? What do they mean what they said by that? Do they have good intentions? And you're becoming more of a, I wouldn't say almost free spirit, but it's just like a person who's just a little bit more relaxed, and who, you know, you're just kind of taking things for what they are, okay? You're like, this is what it is. I'm not going to spend my time overthinking issues, thinking, what if this negative thing happens? What if they meant this negative thing? What if they have this negative intention? You're like, I'm done with that. Okay, that's coming to a close in 2022. And that's really, really great that you have this state of mind. Another thing that is happening is that you're reevaluating exactly what it is that you want in a long-term partner. You're starting to, I don't know if it's like open up your options, but it's more like you're just reevaluating what it is that you need to build something long-term with this Ten of Swords in this reverse position like this. It's like saying, okay, what I have been building towards and what I have been desiring is not something that seems to be measuring up in reality. And so you're saying, okay, what can I do to think about things in a different way in order to get my needs met, my emotional needs met in relationships or in partnerships or in dating? Okay, so you're starting to really focus on what it is that you personally value. Whether that is, okay, well, I need somebody who is going to be emotionally available or emotionally mature. Or I really need somebody who is going to treat me with the utmost respect. And I need someone who is going to be a shoulder to lean on. Or I need someone who's going to have some stability. So you're really thinking about the things that you value, and you're kind of like sticking to them, and you're creating new boundaries in order for you to get what you want. That being said, there's still going to, like I said, be a lot of moments where you feel like, okay, I'm meeting some people. They seem nice. They seem lovely. Or maybe not. in some cases. It's really a mixed bag here. You're kind of like experiencing both things. What you're really looking for, that you're really struggling to find in 2022, is a spiritual connection. Okay, but there are some good things. Like I said, you're going to have a lot of more interesting, how do I want to say this? Because sometimes the Ten of Pentacles can relate to just general things that you either consume or do in order to, how do I explain? In order to have some consistency. Basically, it represents your daily routine. So you may meet someone who has like a completely different like way of approaching things. Like they may be a morning person and they may like to do cardio in the morning or something like that. So that's something to keep in mind. This also would let me know that you're kind of dating people who, you know, maybe they suffer from some sort of negative thinking patterns. So it maybe not even be you who's doing the negative thinking, but maybe you're meeting people who have that sort of victimization thought process. Like, oh, woe is me. So that's a possibility that's happening. And that doesn't mean like every person you date's like this. I just want to keep that in mind. And then some of the people you date, it's going to feel like they don't really have a great deal of dating experience. So they may kind of, you know, say the wrong things or do things that just seem a little bit out of pocket. That being said, with the 5th house creativity, it really becomes about just having all of these dating experiences in order to really understand what it is that you would need from a partnership and how you'd like to communicate. And even if you have like a strong understanding, 2022 is going to come in and give you some experiences and some things to think about that you may not really have thought about before. Now, I want to clarify things because I don't want to leave like, oh, this reading was so not exciting. But yeah, the Emperor is kind of giving me, I'm taking charge of my dating life. I'm putting myself out there. And even though I'm not getting the things that I would like, I'm going to keep pushing and I'm gaining experience. And I'm starting to understand my own behavior, and I'm starting to understand more so the behavior of others, okay? But with this 5 of Cups, like I said, it kind of relates to what we've already been saying already, how it's like they aren't creating a space to cater to your emotions and your vulnerability. Okay, so that's something that may be going on in 22. I don't know why the cards want you to know that, but let's see some good things that could be happening here, because I don't want to leave that. Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is kind of like, oh, I'm having some fun times. I'm having some interesting, good conversations with people. So that's something, it's kind of like enlightening your mind, expanding your experiences, really understanding more about yourself. That's what the Knight of Swords is getting. It's like saying, okay, this is how I communicate with this person. This is how I talk to this person. This is what I personally need. I don't know if I want to date people like this, etc., etc. The Knight of Swords is just there to gather experiences. And I feel like 2022 is that year that you're just gathering more kind of relationship experience. You know, it's that saying where, you know, you got to kiss a bunch of frogs before you get a prince or something like that. I don't know if that's the right saying. I'm using the right wording. But that's pretty much what's going on in 2022. Like I said, there are some good experiences where you are having some very, very enlightening, fun conversations, because the Knight of Swords is a very, like, funny person. So you're probably going to meet some people who are very, very funny, very, very, like, probably well-traveled a little bit, or at least traveled enough to have gained some insight into the world. And there are definitely people who are sweet talkers. So you're going to have some pretty good compliments this year, and they're going to help you, you know, become a little bit more self-aware. But that's pretty much the main energy that I'm getting from 2022. Lots of dating and all that jazz. If you're already in a relationship, what this is kind of letting me know is you may have a lot of worries and concerns surrounding your relationship. And it may have to do with maybe trying to keep romance or passion alive, because this Nine of Wands is in this reverse position. So it's almost like the passion has kind of like faded a little bit, but it's fine. It's just a matter of trying to figure out how to revive things and do things, because you're going to have to learn to switch up the routine in your relationship. It's really not like all that bad. It's just, you know, that going through that figuring out phase of what it is to bring some spice into your relationship. That's the part that's going to be like, okay, well, I really got to figure out what works for us, because, you know, going wine tasting isn't it, you know, or going to, what's that thing where they make the little clay pots? Doing that together isn't it. So you're trying to figure out what is right for you guys as a couple in order to feel alive within your relationship, or feel that romance within your relationship. So that's something to think about for those of you who are together. But there's really nothing to expand upon in terms of that. There's not like, there may be some anxieties about like, oh, is this, you know, are we going to last, or are we going somewhere? So you may have to have some tough conversations. But other than that, that's what I see for 2022. Yeah, that's what I'm picking up. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey astronauts, let's get into this. We have pile number 4 for you guys. Ace of Pentacles, seeing how love is in 2022. Knight of Swords going on here. This is the 8 of Coins. Mars, Force. Okay, I see you guys. So it looks like you guys are having, this is for the singles, some new opportunities coming in here. And it's really, really exciting, because you're meeting some new people you have some more sexual chemistry with, especially with this Mars Force energy here and this Page of Wands. So it almost feels like this young romantic puppy love in a way, where you may be acting a little bit like a teenager going on here, or just having date people who just you feel passionate about, and they feel that passion towards you, okay? And it just feels good. So that's something to keep in mind, that really great energy coming in. Meeting people you've never met before, people who have potential to be in a long-term relationship with, especially with this Ace of Pentacles. I usually get this card for like if somebody's feeling a certain way about someone. It's like, oh, I think this person has potential. Like we like some of the same things. Maybe we go to the same events. I've seen this person around, etc. Things like that. We both are family oriented. It's kind of like that card that's like, okay, we have some things in common. This could potentially go somewhere. And so you're meeting people with a great deal amount of potential in 2022, where you're like really excited by the fact that things could possibly be working out in a very, very positive direction. Now, we don't know every single incident that you're going to encounter. A lot of these piles lack major arcana, so it lets me know there's so much flexibility for you guys in 2022, but you're attracting people who you just think are, well, really hot, or really excite you and make you just feel like young and spirited, free-spirited, and just overall you're like, I cannot wait to be intimate with this person. And another thing with this Mars energy, Mars is a planet, it reminds me of Venus, and I guess this is why sometimes Venus and Mars rule people date. So like Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson. Kim Kardashian has like Chitra placement, which is like a Mars placement in Vedic astrology. Don't worry if you know what I'm talking about. And Pete Davidson, I can't remember if he has, is it Purvashada? Whatever it is, but he has some kind of Venusian placement in Vedic astrology, right? And so the reason that they sometimes come together and date is because they both really take romantic situations very seriously, and they love having fun together. Both of those placements are like, I don't want to miss out on all the fun and excitement. Where you have other placements which things can get a little bit more complicated, but Venus and Mars replacements, when they come together, they just kind of concentrate on, oh my God, let's go to the farmer's market together. Let's go eat out. Let's go on a roller coaster. Let's go, like, they just kind of like both having fun. So that's something that's really exciting and something to look forward to, where you just have people who just feel like, oh man, thank you. Like they feel like a relief. You feel like dating was so harsh, or maybe you didn't feel that way, but you may have felt like dating wasn't as exciting as it could be, where now you're getting that opportunity to get that excitement. And you know what? I'm really excited for you guys for the year of 2022, because somehow it's not as is. I can't even speak. Somehow it's not the same way. Okay, so that's something to think about. Okay, and one thing though is maybe because there's this strong concentration on just kind of like more lighthearted things, more things that are just like you know, keeping the conversation a little bit more superficial, or not really diving deeper into the deep things. Sometimes you may even feel like, I wonder if this is going somewhere. That's what this Knight of Swords is saying to me. It's letting me know that you're like, oh man, I don't even know like how to even bring about the discussion of trying to expand this and go deeper, or even if I want to invest in deeper, or if I just want like a summer girlfriend or summer boyfriend. Maybe I just want to keep things light. It's like kind of like saying, I'm not sure where this is kind of going. You know, we don't have any arguments, which can be an indicator of like not really wanting to step on each other's toes and not really being completely honest. So there is that interesting aspect of the Knight of Swords of not wanting to really open up about what you have to say or what you think, because you don't want to cause a big fuss. And that's something to think about, okay? So that's something that you really do have to look forward to next year when it comes to the dating game, the dating scene. You're really having a lot of fun, okay? So this 8 of Pentacles here, because when I get the 8 of Pentacles upright, it's like you're diligently working towards building like a relationship where you feel like you're with someone who understands you, who has a lot of patience, who is worth a lot of work. Well, it kind of like reiterates that Knight of Swords energy where it's saying, I don't know how much further this can go. Like you're very unsure if you want to have like a committed relationship with somebody you're potentially dating. You're dating somebody, or at least maybe 2 people, or you know, or whatever. Maybe you're just having fun and you're just like, I'm just going on dates. And so you're like, I don't know if this date's going anywhere, but I'm having fun for the time being, okay? You're like, I don't want to focus on things that are too treacherous to tackle right now, or I don't feel like putting a lot of energy into building a strong foundation. You're just like, I want to keep this light. That's pretty much the energy going into 2022. I want to keep things light and focus on just kind of, you know, maybe the physicality, or maybe just the laughter and the hanging out together, and not wanting to really invest yourself in one person, okay? It could just say you just don't want to invest in one person. It could just say that you don't want to invest in that particular person. But either way, it's like saying, hey, I don't want to really like give this person my all, give this person my full commitment. So that's going on in 2022. It's pretty straightforward reading, if I'm to be completely honest. It's just letting me know that you're someone who is just going to be in this place of excitement, having maybe some big gestures thrown at you, because Mars is that planet that rules us, kind of like big romantic gestures. It's in this place where you're like, oh man, we went to this restaurant by the pier and there was fireworks and oh my gosh, it was so fun, it was so romantic, and you're just kind of enjoying those moments, okay? Not really expecting too much from it. And I think it's because you're meeting people who may not have the maturity level you want, but you're not bothered by it. You're like, you know what, we kind of work together for what we need right now, or for what I need right now. Maybe you don't want to get into something really deep. Maybe you're coming out of a serious relationship. So that's something that's possible. Or maybe you're just like, even if you haven't come out of a serious relationship, let's say you haven't dated in a long time, you're like, I'm not ready to just jump into something. And so that's kind of like your mindset in 2022. You're like, I'm not just gonna jump into any old thing. We're gonna just see, hopefully we're compatible enough to just go on a couple of dates, have some fun, you know, eat some seafood, I don't know, whatever it is that you want to go see, go to an aquarium, you know, have some fun, you know what I mean? Flirt, talk, like, you know, rub up on each other. Like, that's pretty much 2022 energy. Like, it's very non-committal, which is great, okay? But like I said, these potential interactions can go somewhere serious if you would like them to. It's just a matter of, you know, figuring out if that's really what you want to do. It's really up to you in 2022. You have a lot of leeway onto where you want to take things and where you want to go and who you want to date, okay? So that's something to think about. For those of you in a relationship, maybe you feel like your partner sometimes may nitpick at things that just don't matter, or maybe they have some priorities that you don't really agree with. So, or you may feel like, oh man, this person's not giving me enough attention. You will have some great moments together. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh no, like you've had a terrible time in 2022. No, you're going to have some great moments together. I'm just picking up that because I'm kind of like reading backwards right now. So there's some sort of like nitpicky moments, or just, and even if they're not nitpicking at you, they're just focusing on things that you're like, I wish this person would stop working so much and they would focus on the romance in our relationship. You know, like I feel like they're distracted from being with me right now, and it's a little bit frustrating. But so that's something that's to think about in 2022. But ultimately with these other cards here, it's kind of just saying that you're really ready for maybe a new commitment, because the Ace of Pentacles is there, where it's like saying, okay, I still really love you and I want to be with you. And I think this relationship has a lot of potential to grow, and I think you're really down to earth, and I, you know, just like how raw you are, and how much you are just yourself, and how open and free you are within that relationship. So it's really just having a lot of like admiration towards your partner. So I think that's probably where the frustration's coming in, where you're like, oh man, why won't this person spend more time with me? Like, I love them so much. Like, we need to spend more time together. Like, every time I spend time together with them, I feel closer to them. And that's really what I'm getting from this. Like, you just feel like you guys just work so well together. I guess the sex life, is that what you would call it? I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. I don't know what we can say anymore. That's going to be great. You may be doing some experimental things there. I'm not going to get into that. But you may be like, okay, well, let's try something different. The day-to-day interactions that you guys have, you kind of like melded into a nice routine where you feel like, oh man, I really like being together with this person. I feel like we make some really good future plans. We have a great foundation to go into a more serious relationship. We feel like we're just a team. Like, overall, you just feel like you and your partner are a team, and that you work well together and you're really bonded. It's just a matter of just wanting to feel more connected with them, if that's the word that I I'm getting at. Like, you just want to feel like, okay, I'm there for this person. Like, I really want to see more of this person. So that's something to think about. Anyway, that is all I have for you. And I cannot wait to see you guys next time. I hope that you will come back for another reading. Like I said, you're really enjoying the company of your partner, pile number 4. It's just a matter of feeling like, man, this person might have to work so much, okay? Maybe they just have a demanding job. That happens in relationships. It's hard to find that work life balance, and I think maybe your partner is struggling with that, or maybe it could even be you that this is talking about, okay? So that's what it is, and I will see you guys next time. Au revoir. Hey, pile number 5, last but not least. So this pile, for some strange reason, decided it did not want to record, but that's okay because I already have the information, so that's good that I know how things are, what the cards are trying to say here. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, Death, the 8 of Swords, the 6 of Coins, let me go like that, Justice, and the South Node. Okay, so this is a major shift coming into 2022. What this is saying to me is that you are going through some major changes in perspectives on how you approach love. And the reason for that is because you're taking the time to really analyze your past behavior and how your childhood or decisions or things that happened in your past connect to what is going on now. And oftentimes it has a lot to do with our thinking pattern, our childhood, those deep things like this death house energy is implying that we may not want to really focus on things that affect our behavior, potential trust issues that we may have, or any other issues that we may have. Like, everyone's got tons and tons of issues. If there's one thing that I know, everyone's got problems, right? And so you're addressing your issues and your problems. So one thing that is going to allow you to get what you need and get what you need out of people in 2022 is that change in perspective. So now you're getting some people that are going to more than likely try to meet your needs. Now, I'll be honest, it's like saying, because you're going on such a spiritual journey in 2022, you may not be completely there for everyone. Like, you're not like there for the people in your love life in the same way that they may be there for you. And it's because you have to go through this transformation period in your life where you're feeling like, okay, it's time for a change. It's time for me to awaken. It's time to me to connect to my purpose. Like, this is a very, very spiritually awake year for you, where you're really connecting to some divine forces. And when I get Justice, Justice to me is like that card that's like, oh, I'm just kind of getting what I deserve. Like, I reap what I sow. I put in the effort, and so now this is what I'm getting. So Justice to me is really that card of just saying, like, I'm sticking to what I know. Like, I'm kind of doing the same, not doing the same patterns, but like, because this is obviously a year of breaking patterns, but it's like saying, okay, this is it. Like, because I did this, this happened, you know, cause and effect. So because you're putting in the work to make changes within your life, you're starting to get better results. And you're starting to encounter people who are willing to invest more time and effort into you. Like, this is the year where you're the one who's kind of like pulling back, and they're putting in like more effort towards you. Granted, South Node people kind of put in a lot of effort in relationships, but because you're going to be really self-reflecting and trying to elevate yourself spiritually, you probably won't have as much time to really give to a dating partner or etc. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. And you will be meeting some really transformative people. And And it just feels like a very, very karmic year. So maybe you're meeting some people from a past life. Maybe you're just meeting people who you feel this automatic connection. One thing that I note is something about K2, especially if it conjuncts like Venus or K2 ruled people. It really has a lot to do with love at first sight. Like usually people will fall in love with like South Node people at first sight. So what I mean by this, to mention it, is that you may be meeting people who you have an immediate connection with in 2022, and they're there to kind of teach you lessons, to help you learn more about yourself and help you to further invest in the things that you want and need in this lifetime. They're here to help you make those incredible changes about you. I don't know how to phrase that correctly, but but that's pretty much what's going on in 2022. Like they're there to just be that backboard for you to like springboard, I want to say, for you to jump off and go and explore the full depths of your reality on this plane. I hope that made sense. So that's something to think about when you enter 2022. Like you're letting go of everything that may have been toxic in the past. You're changing your mindset. You're doing what it is that you need to do to get to a place where you feel elevated and you feel appreciated and you feel loved and connected, and you feel like that you have found someone to accept you for who you are. Because with justice here, you're like, take me as I am. Like, this is me. And in 2022, you're like, I'm tired of being wrapped up in my thoughts and feeling insecure and not being able to be myself and express myself how I want. You're like, nope, not anymore. I'm letting it out. You know, it just reminds me of Diana Ross' song, I'm coming out. That song. But anyway, that's pretty much you. You're coming out in 2022. Okay, and you're just letting yourself be you. That's what I'm getting here. And you're not really concerned about what too many other people think, or trying to make sure you put on this good impression of yourself and really impress someone or etc. You're like, nope, this is it. This is it. I'm just letting you know that this is who I am, and I'm not changing, or I'm changing for the better, okay? Because I'm coming out of my shell and I'm becoming a higher version of myself, especially when it comes to your love life. And so you're taking this time to be really patient and getting to know yourself and really figure out what it is that may cause you to have some familiar patterns that show up within your dating life, and you're going to break those habits in 2022. Now, for those of you in a relationship, this is basically saying that, similar to what I was saying before, where you're focusing a lot of energy on yourself, and you have a partner who's going to have to like be on the back burner, and they kind of understand that. They understand that you're going through a spiritual journey, or you're going through a place where you're trying to connect with your spirit and really be aligned with who you are. And they understand that it's going to take some time before you can like fully come back and reinvest in this relationship, because you're figuring out who you are, and you're figuring out your place in the world, and you're figuring out what it is that you need from not only just your partner, but from yourself. Like, you're like, how can I get what I want? How can I reach this level of satisfaction? How can I stop trying to find fulfillment within things that don't matter? Because the South Node is all about rejecting the material. It is about rejecting connections to objects, things, people, Like, it's like saying, I just want to connect to the divine. That's pretty much like the South Node energy, where that's pretty much the only place they feel that satisfaction, if I want to be completely honest, where when they connect to something spiritual and they connect to something beyond them and something they may not understand, when they connect to a world that is beyond our reality, things that don't even make sense, okay? And I've actually seen a lot of people who have the South Node conjunct their moon, and they may be kind of perceived as kind of like wacky or out of it, and that's because they're connecting to a plane that is not of our level of understanding. So you may see somebody with like moon conjunct South Node like have mental illness or something like that. and or just be kind of like obsessed with the past or something. I knew somebody who had their moon with South Node, and they were like really into like the 70s. So it's like a time beyond our current reality. And so that's something you're delving into the past. You're looking at things in your personal life, your relationships, and how it connects to your relationships if you're in a relationship. That's a lot of relationship, saying the word relationship. And that kind of works for the singles too. It's like you're both doing the same thing, whether you're in a relationship or not a relationship. It's just trying to figure out who you are and express that within the world and finding that acceptance, okay? And so you may feel a little bit of frustration within your relationship because you want to be so self-focused right now because you're learning a lot about yourself, but it's going to be fine. It's going to work out. You're still going to have that supportive partner. It's just that they may be putting in more effort towards you than you may be putting effort towards them. But you guys seem to have like a solid foundation in your relationship. And if that's not the case, then choose another pile, because that is what the cards want to let me know. And so that's pretty much all I have for you. Just kind of be ready for a spiritual journey going into 2022. Get ready to analyze any childhood traumas. Get ready to analyze any past behaviors. Get ready to figure out what it is that you want to do in this life. Get ready to connect higher to the divine. Maybe start meditating. Maybe start picking up more occult hobbies, collecting crystals, whatever it is that you feel connects you to a higher spiritual plane. Get ready for it, because that's what's coming for you in 2022. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what I have for you, pile number 5. Thank you for watching. It has been a pleasure to review. I know it wasn't the most romantic reading, but it's really becomes more like psychological in 2022, okay? A lot of focus on changing a mindset. It's kind of like shedding your skin, like you're becoming a butterfly, like you're a caterpillar and now you're becoming a butterfly. So that is what I have for you, and I will see you guys next time. Au revoir.